Yeah, so I was looking at what I might wear tomorrow because it might rain. I was looking at some nice jackets that I don't get to wear in Southern California very much. That's a nice jacket, probably costs over $100. Even puffs up and gives me better insulation when I get some wind chill. It's pretty cool, or warm. And dug out my Clippers beanie. But, you know, this is expensive equipment. And one of the reasons why I might dig it out is because it is expensive, and I live in Southern California, don't actually get to wear it very often. So I look for it, and when I get a chance to wear it, gonna wear it. However, riding in traffic with cars, commuting on your bicycle, doesn't actually have to be expensive. And I'm actually thinking for the price of this jacket here, I could get any person ready to go. If they got 30-mile round trip. This equipment that you see here, it's all been used on 30-mile round trip by me or by my wife. And it's all pretty simple bicycling equipment, and I'm pretty sure you could get a pretty straightforward standard 10-speed like this for $25. And it is serviceable. It's definitely serviceable. Now, the other bikes here, you'll notice, have thicker tires, because I really think that wider tire is a little more comfortable in traffic. And even this Recumbent here, I rode this guy every single day for like 10 years. But again, you see, I got some pretty wide tires on there. One thing I do want you to notice is they all do have something in common. My commuters. They all have a mirror on them. They all have mirrors. And if you're gonna ride in traffic, you just gotta have a mirror. You gotta have a mirror. You gotta know what's going on behind you. Sometimes drivers are actually courteous and they signal what they're doing, and you really want to know what they're doing, and you need that mirror to see whether they want to go to the right or to the left, and you want to make your adjustments, and that mirror is super helpful, as well as allowing you to make some proactive evasive maneuver if you happen to be, under duress because you are riding in traffic. So mirror, super important, super important. That's why they all have mirrors. They all also have handlebar pack. They all do, because you're going to be riding and you're on your bike like this, and you're riding in traffic, you want something to eat, or you want your phone, whatever it is that you might want, is probably going to be available in here, or that's where it should be. So that's why they all have handlebar packs. And in my case, I prefer to use these straps, toe clips like that, on all my bikes. So that means I can wear shoes like this, I can dress like this. This is how I would ride my bike. So you can see how it could be relatively inexpensive if this is the equipment. This allows me to wear just about any shoe I want, as long as I'm not super concerned about the damage that might happen from exercising in your shoe. When you are riding on a bicycle, your clothes there's friction, you're going to wear out parts of your clothes, and you'll have to throw them away because a hole will wear out in a spot that you're not really expecting it. For example, on the side of that shoe right there, it just happened to be where that toe clip was rubbing. And so this shoe, even though it's got plenty of tread, wore out a lot faster on the side here. That does happen. Now, I also have a rack on all my bikes, and you can get these racks pretty cheap for the back. This one doesn't really have a rack, the Recumbent, but it's I was able to hang a backpack on the back, and this thing was very useful for carrying stuff. Now, it's fall going on winter, it's going to be dark, so of course I got light. This is a pretty nifty light here, in that I can pull it out and I can do stuff with it, and I can put it back in, and it's pretty nice. But of course, We're talking about inexpensive. So a mirror, you can get this mirror like this here, $3 at Walmart. But I highly recommend spending the money on the mirror and making sure you have a mirror for your $25 bike. I also think that you should probably have a helmet for sure, okay? There is some evidence, maybe it's not all that useful in an accident in a helmet, but I'll tell you, the number of times that rocks get kicked up in traffic and bounce off my helmet makes me think, go wear a helmet anyway. And I've actually been hit, and I was hit once and I was dragged and my head hit the parking lot, and I'm pretty sure if I didn't have a helmet, I would have been in an ambulance. Otherwise, what happened is I jumped up and I yelled at the person for being a shitty driver. Now, what do you want to do? Be mad, be able to jump up and yell and scream, or you want to be in the ambulance hoping that your brain isn't leaking out of your head? Helmet. Now, I would like to note that this helmet here, is this bike right here is the one I ride most of the time. I like this bike. It's 30 years old. Everything's sealed. It's got sealed bearings here and on the front and a sealed bottom bracket, and the cabling is all sealed. So I'm riding in traffic, the road grit, all that kind of stuff's getting in there. It's protected. So even though this bike's 30 years old, still riding it, it still rolls. Now this helmet here, I filmed just about everything with this helmet, and so I just wanted to give them a plug here. Okay, this is a video head by Bolt, and everything you see on here pretty much got filmed on that guy. And this is the helmet I wear. Got a little camera right here. Okay, now seating, especially for men, bit of a problem. I think that, you know, the male anatomy not necessarily made for riding a bike, and so that's why I would say don't spend a ton of money on a bike if you're just starting out. Just get any old bike and then spend some money maybe on a seat if you have money to spend, because that is where, you know, you're going to feel discomfort or be able to sit for a long time and be happy. And a recumbent, if you can afford it, is the way to go for sure. Very friendly to the human anatomy, very friendly to the male anatomy. And I rode one for 10 years. Kind of heavy, not able to get the gluteus maximi into riding the way you would when you're on a bike like this. And you see, this is the seat geometry that I've come to really like. And you see there's nothing right here. So this is a lot easier on my prostate. And this is what I like. This is okay, or it's got a little valley here, but this is what I prefer. So seat, if you're gonna spend money, probably seat where you're gonna spend money and have it, you know, give you real bang for your buck. So you get a bike, but if you're gonna spend money, maybe spend money on a seat, and then you can take the seat to the next better bike maybe you get, or you buy better wheels. For example, this bike here has got some nice wheels on it. So when you get money, you upgrade the vehicle. But I'm telling you, for the price of that jacket that I showed you, $100 or so, you can get yourself ready to go to ride in traffic, in cars, even in weather. Even in weather. So normally I just have this on my head, you know, underneath, and I would maybe move on to putting a beanie on underneath the helmet if it got cold, right? But I'm in Southern California, and so yeah, I mean, if you got any kind of, this thing here, this thing is so old. Got this at REI too, but this just breaks the wind. It's just a light windbreaker. It's not waterproof, but I'd say it's water resistant, and you can get some pants like this if you'd like, but this thing is so light, I can scrunch it up so tiny, and it literally there, but yet that thing is so useful. Fits in the bike bag, and you know, for, you know, the change of weather that happens in the morning, or just sudden weather that happens, this is a great thing to have in the bike pack. Now, if it's really cold, I might switch from my regular old bike gloves, because hey, I do have bike gloves and I do wear them but these bike gloves probably cost only $10. And these bike gloves definitely only cost $10 because they actually don't go with these bike gloves, which are made out of wool. And even when wool gets wet, it is very warm. Again, this was an REI purchase many years ago, and I've kept them, and I keep them in this bag here, along with a pump. So that's what's in the bag. Now, another thing you might want to put on your bike is a little, so you don't got to yell at people, right? Is that, or you got a bell. Oops. Got a bell. Should have a lock. I have a lock. You see, I have a lock. Now, it's nighttime, right? At this time of the year, make sure you have some lights. I mean, in the summertime, of course, I mean, it's, and especially in the northern tier, I mean, days are long, you may not even see any darkness. But this time of year, for sure, you're going to see some darkness, so you got some light. So I actually have some spoke lights, and there's a spoke light, he flashes at night, and I have a light right here, and I have a light right here, and on this bicycle here, there's a bicycle light on the back here, and there's another light right here. Now, you'll notice that almost every one of these lights, or maybe you wouldn't notice, so I'm going to point out to you, every one of these lights that I have is battery-powered batteries like Duracell or Everready that you get at a gas station. Now, I have one that's USB, but I don't really like the USB thing because when it doesn't work, like it runs out of juice. Let's say I get up in the morning and I go for a long ride in the dark for like a couple hours and I'm running out of juice, I still need light. I can't have it because I can't get it charged, and I can't just get myself to a gas station and get some batteries to then basically be 100% again. So that's my recommendation for independence, is even though USB is what everyone sells, batteries are more practical in my opinion, and go on the flash mode when you're using your lights, except for the one going forward, to, you know, basically save that battery time, because when you're on flash mode, you're using 50% of the juice. Now, lights are expensive. I get that, right? So I told you maybe you're gonna have to buy, well, you're definitely gonna have to buy a mirror unless you have one. You're gonna have to buy a bicycle. A bike pack up front would be good. Maybe some gloves, right? A helmet. The lights could be expensive. You don't want to do that. A flashlight just lashed onto the front right here. I mean, one season I just took some duct tape, I took a flashlight, lashed it onto that rack right there, and bammo, I was ready to go for a whole winter. Now, you're commuting on your bike, you really need a rack. You really do need a rack so you can hang something. You can hang luggage like this. Just hangs right on there, boom, it doesn't fall off. What might be the stuff that you would carry in there besides your clothes? I got a small little backpack. This is a plastic rain poncho. If it was really got a lot of weather, I would have this. And also in this little thing here, I have some tools. And here's some of the stuff that I just pulled out. I might have in there. It's like some Allen wrenches. Here's a little light that you could put on your arm, or you could just clip on. It's just a little flashing light. It's pretty nice. I like it. Here's something, a little reflector from Anywhere, and you can just glue that on there, and it's not a bad idea to do stuff like that. And this is my bicycle patch kit. Learning how to, it's just gonna have some tools in it to, or some patches in there and some glue. So this is what a patch looks like. Now, it's not all that fun to change your tire and patch it. So I'm not recommending that actually be what you do, but if you know how to do it, it's good to have it. Or if you're gonna learn, it's good to have it. Now, if you're gonna be doing stuff like that, then of course you need a tire iron. You need 2 of these. It helps you get the tire off of the rim so you can then patch it. I would recommend, to save you some pain, of course, just having a spare inner tube, and then you can just When you get the tire off, you can just pop the bead on one side, pull the bad inner tube out, put a good inner tube in, and you're rolling again. You don't even have to patch. Now, one thing when you're buying bike tires and stuff, you want this Schrader valve. A Schrader valve is the one that they use at gas stations on cars and stuff. Presta valve's more complicated. You're gonna have to have a special pump, blah, blah, blah. So when you're buying a bike, pay attention to what kind of valve is on the wheel. Presta valve preferred for, you know, hardcore cyclists, but if you're just a practical commuter, you spent $25 on your bicycle and $5 on a mirror and $10 on your seat, and you didn't spend much more than that, then, well, you know, a Presta valve maybe isn't all that practical for you because you're going to be putting air in at the gas station. So, Schrader valve, that's what you're looking for. So, hey, I think I can safely say, because I've done it personally, that any one of these vehicles right here, 30-mile round trip, 50-mile round trip, no problem. Now, 50-mile round trip, a little much for me. Usually when I had that long of a commute, I would ride one way on the train and ride the 25 miles either at night or in the morning, one way or another. But 30-mile round trip, 15 miles one way, I would do that. And any one of these vehicles, in fact, every one of these vehicles has done it. So, there's no reason to think that there's an economic reason keeping you off the road. As a bicycle commuter, you can actually get by $100, just like I said, for the cost of that super cool jacket, able to withstand any weather while I'm on my bicycle. $125 jacket probably at REI, and REI is reasonably priced. That whole $100, get you a bicycle, get you the equipment, helmet, mirror, some lights, you're ready to go. Now it's about doing it. And that's why you shouldn't spend a lot of money, because it's the doing, it's the hard part. And if you spend a lot of money, I'm not sure it's motivating. And maybe it is, maybe it's not. But if you don't spend too much, it will be, you'll have extra money to upgrade. Make your bike better if you're really going to do it. You need to find out, can I do it? Will I do it? Don't spend a bunch of money, right? Because that's where you're going to get your bike. If somebody spent a bunch of money, you're going to go on Craigslist. Somebody spent a bunch of money, and you're going to get yourself some kind, maybe a mountain bike or a nice road bike. And that's what you're going to turn into your commuter. And you're going to get a good price because they spent a lot of money and didn't use it. Don't spend a lot of money. You can do it on $100. And the fact is, the reason why I started riding my bike was all economic. It had nothing to do with health at all. Zero to do with health. It was all about economic. I can't support a car, was what I said to myself. Bicycle, no problem. I can do that. I can support a bicycle, and a bicycle can get me anywhere. Anywhere. I'm as independent as a person with a car. In fact, during rush hour, you are more independent. And if you've been watching this channel, you've seen me riding in disasters, knowing a bicycle can make you more independent. So economic reasons are actually all on the side of the bicycle. You don't have to spend a lot of money. You can do it on just less than $100, get yourself outfitted and out there riding in traffic with cars.